Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Gate, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you the preview to the North London Derby, Tottenham v Arsenal, first v 14th. And oh boy, am I excited about this one today. I'm bringing you very, very special guest. It's your boy Ben, from everyone's favourite Spurs channel. We are Tottenham TV. How are you, Ben? How are you keeping?
I'm good, David. I'm good, David. Thanks for having me on. Great Spurs content. I've been loving your content since you started the channel. So yeah, thanks for having me on. It's good to be here.
Thanks very much for taking the time out of your day. Look, I know you're so busy with work on your own channel, and to come on such a small channel like mine, I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No, don't be silly. It's a pleasure for me to come on. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Right, so look, before we get into it, if you like the content you're seeing, make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel, do the right thing and show me the support. So look, we'll get into it, Ben. Team news basically. For Arsenal, as we know, Party, what they thought was the only party in North London, which is obviously not. He's out injured until January. And Nicolas Pepe decided to channel his inner Zinedine Zidane. He done a madness and threw out a headbutt. So they're suspended, which is a huge loss for them. And then going on to us, we have, I seen this morning reports that Alderweireld is back in full training. So I think Lamella's out injured as well. I'm not sure whether he'll start against Arsenal, but do you think we might see Alderweireld back against Arsenal and maybe Lamella?
Yeah, I think the centre-back pairing against Arsenal will be Dyer and Alderweireld. Alderweireld will come straight back in, which is good for us, obviously. Rodon had a good game against Chelsea. I really think that, but you could see there were a few kind of nervousness there from him. First 10-15 minutes, I thought he was very shaky, but he grew into the game and I thought he did very well. Eric Dyer, he's been putting in performances week in, week out. So him alongside Toby Alderweireld against Arsenal, I think is the best way to go. I can't see them, the way they're playing, get anything past Dyer and Toby Alderweireld. But obviously, form does go out the window in a derby. We all know that. But the way they're playing, Dyer and Toby should be way too strong for them. Way too strong, especially with Højbjerg sitting just in front of him. In terms of Lamella, I think the game will come a bit too soon for Lamella. Yeah. Everyone knows. Every time they're like, "Oh, Lamella will be back in a week. Lamella will be back in 2 weeks," and we don't see him for 6 months. So it looks like we're going through that again.
Yeah, look, I personally want to see Toby in beside Dyer. The two boys have been class this year for us. Yeah. It's a major turnaround since where they were last season at the levels they were at. And look, we kept the clean sheet against two of the best attacking teams in the league with Chelsea and City. And as we know, Arsenal can't score goals. They can't even buy a goal at the minute. So, look, I think it's one we should win comfortably. But moving into the game, Ben, basically, it's a game that I want us to start fast. I want us to commit to every challenge. I want us to win every challenge. I want us to be aggressive. I want us with nice, crisp passing. And I want to see us dominate the game. But how do you think Jose is going to approach this game? Do you think we might see the low block and the sitting back and hoping to counter like we have done the last two games? Or do you think we're going to start fast and go at these?
I actually think we're going to start fast. I think it's going to be a bit different to the last 3 or 4 games. I know when we played Brighton and West Brom, and Burnley, they kind of sat in a low block, and it was kind of similar to the way Arsenal were going to set up. So those games were kind of tough because we only won it by the odd goal. I genuinely think if we were to play a middle three of Højbjerg, Lo Celso, Ndombele, potentially even Gareth Bale up there with Sonny and Kane as well. I really think we could go at them from the first minute. If we have a start like we did against West Ham against these lot, they're not having no comeback like West Ham did. They are going to shit their pants. And I'm telling you, if we can get 2 or 3 goals early, this could be one of the biggest derby wins we've seen ever. But like we say with every single game, if we don't get that early goal, the longer it goes on 0-0, the more worrying it gets for us.
Yeah, look, for me, it's honestly the most confident I've been going into a derby game.
That worries me. Because
I was right against.
Confident we seem to lose.
I was confident against City. We won. I was confident against Chelsea. We got out of there with a point. We robbed them. So look, all signs point to a win, especially with what's going on at Arsenal at the minute.
No, I agree.
Look, their players aren't playing for the badge. Aubameyang is pulling the noozle on it. They signed Partey for 40 million and he's out injured. Only Arsenal can do that.
Apparently, he never had an injury for like 6 years before that as well.
Yeah, look, it's the curse of Arsenal. Anyone that goes there just always seems to pick up knocks and can't get a run of games together. But like, look, you look at Arsenal, their record isn't good at all. They're on 13 points, sitting 14th into the table. They've only won 2 home games out of 5, and they average 1 goal a game and average about 1.2 against the game. So look, it's a game I'm very confident because, as you know, we can't score goals and we're not shipping anything defensively. So I honestly think it's a game that we will beat them, and I'm very confident going into this game, and I think rightly so. Look, everything over there at the minute is they're all upset. They're all over there crying on the fan cams. The players aren't pulling away, and there's infighting in the dressing room. They're pinning each other down, straightening each other's hair. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot going on there at the minute. And for me, like, look, at the time they had a chance to go for Jose. We were looking for managers at the same time, and they went with Arteta. They said that Jose was he was done. He's a dinosaur. He's finished. But I bet you they'd love him now.
100%. You know, I remember at the time when Emery got sacked, there was all this talk about Jose Mourinho going to Arsenal, and they were probably saying the same things as I was saying, to be honest, before he came to Spurs. I was like, oh, he's a dinosaur. We don't want him, blah, blah, blah. He hates Arsenal. But that's the one thing I love about Jose more than anything, is how much he hates the scum, the red scum from South London. You know what I mean? They are now thinking like, maybe we should have got Jose Mourinho. Just like Man United are thinking, maybe we shouldn't have sacked Jose Mourinho. Yeah. Because Jose Mourinho is the best manager in the Premier League. That's why. You know what I mean? Like, the reason why Arsenal are so crap at the moment is because they have no clue. They have no identity. Every player, they can't play. None of them are playing for the badge. The only one that are playing for the badge is Saka, Joe Willock, and maybe David Luiz. And let's see, all of them, apart from Saka's a good player, but Willock and Luiz are average at best. You know what I mean? At best. Arsenal they're rotten from the core. They're rotten from top till bottom. Their owners are complete craps, bleeding money out of that club. Their fans are completely rotten, probably the worst fan base I've ever seen in my lifetime. Like, flip-flops like I've never seen before. Wenger in, Wenger out, Arteta in, Arteta out, Emery in, Emery out. Like, come on, give me a break. These lot deserve a spanking on the weekend, and that's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah, look, with Jose and the type of mentality he has, I honestly think we're going to absolutely tear strips out and we are going to fly into them. Look, I honestly think we're going to win it. But just on the Jose thing, like, and the Arteta thing, like, if we do smash Arsenal convincingly on the weekend, do you think Arteta might get the sack?
Hope not. I hope not. But look, the guy is the Tapas Tony Pulis, the Paella Pulis, whatever name you want to call him. The guy has no clue whatsoever. So the longer we keep him in the job, the better for us at the moment. I'm gonna give you a bit of truth here, because I actually think Arteta has got the potential to be a good manager. I really do. I think he speaks well. I think at the beginning of his Arsenal career, the tactics were much better than they are now. I just think he's working with such shit, and there was too much of a big job to do over at Arsenal for a rookie manager. I think he needed to go to maybe a championship side or a lower Premier League side. Well, now he's at that lower Premier League side, so maybe it'll do him good. But he needed a bit of experience before he took on a job like Arsenal. There was way too much to do at that club. So I actually think Arteta could be a good manager in the future, but right now he's just a Tony Pulis. That's all he is. And I'm loving every second of it. And the longer he stays in that club, the better for me, because it's just going downhill for them. Game after game after game after game. Laughter after laughter after laughter. Let them cry. Let them go back into their holes. I don't want to hear any gooners come at me, because I haven't heard them since the first game of the season, really.
Yeah, look, for me, Arteta, in my opinion, I think he's a pretender. He looks good. He has his hair looking well all the time. And he says the right things. But for me, he can't get anything out of the players. For me, he's just a pretender. He thinks he's Guardiola. He's not. He's only a side man. And look, on the fan base, you already know your man Ty's pre-match or post-match show interview. Basically, what he's going to do, he's going to blame the ref. He's going to blame VAR. He's going to blame everything else but the Arsenal team. And for me, Arteta was never going to work at Arsenal. Like, you look at the players, they're just not good enough. They're like I was watching your show there that you and Sim done, reviewing the Premier League games over the weekend. And I advise everyone, and especially the Harris Army, if you haven't looked at it, I presume you already have, because you know who these guys are. But get over there and check it out. You called Joe Willock Average Joe. I couldn't agree more with you. The guy, they were all pinning their hopes on him to be the next star. The way they were going on about him was that he's like Messi. He's so good. And look, you summed it up perfectly, Average Joe.
Look,
now moving into the game a bit more.
Before we move on, these lot have Mesut Ozil, one of the best attacking players probably who have been in Europe in the past 5 years. They've got him playing Fortnite, and they got Joe Willock starting for them. I mean, it says it all, really, doesn't it?
Oh, look, it's an absolute joke. Like, the guy's a World Cup. He's a World Cup winner. He's an ex-Real Madrid. He has an eye for a creative pass. And to me, they're missing a trick because, look, Aubameyang signed a new contract. It seems to be the curse over there. You sign a contract, you get your 350 grand a week, and then they pay you to play a bit of PlayStation and make a bit of noise. That's all they do. And I just actually want to encourage all you Arsenal fans out there, please keep trusting in the process, because it's great. It's perfect. I've been saying that the club has been on the decline for years, and Mikel Arteta is going to be the one that's going to finally make everyone else realise that they're on the decline. So please keep trusting in the protest, because you're the most deluded fan base out there. So keep it up, and same as United with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because it's about time the old traditional top four fell apart. So goodbye, Arsenal. Thanks very much for participating, but that's about it. We're moving on to the game.
Done and dusted.
Finished. They're finished out here. Look, like you said, the owners are bleeding the club dry. After winning the FA Cup, that was their time to invest and back Arteta. It didn't happen, so I'm happy. I'm delighted. They thought they'd done us on deadline day with the party deal, but look, that was only a smokescreen in my opinion. Like you said, no injuries in 6 years. They pay 40 million for him. They go on. The AFTV even released a little special video for him and everything else. He goes out injured, and look, he's a player that didn't even want to be there in the first place, because he was actually, his father came out and said that they were waiting on Champions League teams to come in. True. So I question his commitment to the club and the cause anyway. So it's perfect. But moving into the game, Ben, what are the weaknesses in the Arsenal team? Do you think that Jose will be looking to exploit to go and win this game?
What are the weaknesses? Do they have any strength? I think their weaknesses are definitely. I'd probably say their biggest strength is probably Leno, their goalkeeper. I would say their weaknesses, I think their defence has got better since last season, but it's still a big weakness for them. A very big weakness for them. I think when you look at Gabriel, he's been their best performing centre-back this season, but even him, he can easily be got at. You could see how Podence rinsed him in the Wolves game. You could see how two goals against Aston Villa were his fault. So even him, their best defender, easily got at. I think their fullbacks, I don't rate them too much. I think Bellerin's good going forward, but I think he's always there to be taken in behind, because I think that his defensive play is not good at all. Tierney, who knows about him? I don't know. He's always injured anyway, so I don't really know if he's good or not. But I tell you what, Reguilon is much better than him. The Gooners like to think that Tierney is better than Reguilon. Do one, man. Absolutely do one. You know what I mean? Our midfield is going to run all over their midfield, whoever it may be. Højbjerg, Ndombele, Sissoko, or may it be Højbjerg, Ndombele, Lo Celso. They're going to run all over. Who are they even going to have in midfield? Xhaka. I don't even know.
Sideways and many.
Exactly. You know what I mean? They're going to have our midfield is going to run all over them. And Aubameyang can't even get a touch of the ball, never mind have a shot. So, I mean, they've got weaknesses all over the pitch. They got Lacazette, who, if you give him an open goal, he'll hit it over or wide. And the only players I'm worried about in their team are Saka and Leno. I think Leno's a good keeper, but obviously he's nothing on Hugo Lloris, but I think he's a good keeper.
Yeah, look, it's something you see time and time against Tottenham, where a goalkeeper always tends to put in man-of-the-match performances and we just can't score.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens on Sunday. I really wouldn't. But the main area I'd be looking to exploit is down Bellerin's side. The guy's an absolute disaster defensively. As well on Kieran Tierney. I don't know whether you've seen the clip against, I think it was Aston Villa. He looked like he was on an ice skating rink.
Well, when he tripped over himself.
Yeah. And then you have David Luiz at centre back with Gabriel. Look, Gabriel was there. The way they were going on about this guy, it's like he was Sergio Ramos. He hasn't turned out to be any good. And look, if Aston Villa can smash them 3-0 convincingly, I don't understand why we can't. I think Son's going to be very important on that left hand side, ripping Bellerin a new one.
If we do get that early goal, I mean, they're going to have to come out. They're going to have no choice but to come out, and that's when the floodgates can really open. I really believe that.
You've hit the nail on the head. An early goal is going to be crucial because that's Jose's plan. We know. Start first, get an early goal, make them come on to you, and then just exploit them from then on, open them up.
Exactly. Do not give them any hope whatsoever. We need to score within those first 5 minutes, let them know what time it is, and then just hit them. Keep hitting them all game. No mercy whatsoever. I want to see 4 or 5 goals minimum.
I want to put these to bed. I want us to stamp our authority on the game and really show them who is boss in North London. Look, they've had their time, I'll admit that, but now is our time. And they've caused us a lot of hurt over the years. So this is one why they're wounded. I really want to drive the knife in, and I really want to convince them performance, like you said, 4 or 5-0. And I really want them to be leaving with the tail between their legs. For me, look, they've done the impossible. They have an absolute goal scoring machine up front in Aubameyang, and they turned them into not being able to hit the barn door. They've done the impossible. It's great for us. You have Lacazette. The guy is the French Darren Bent. He's no good. He's absolutely useless. And then even just, I know he's not playing, but Pepe. They were going on like this guy was Messi when they signed him. No one ever heard of him. Do you know, they paid 70 million for a guy that they're going on like Messi.
75 million for this guy. Come on, do me a favour.
It's an absolute joke. Like the way they bigged up these players, I'm delighted it's all come falling down for them. I really have. Just key battles in the game. What do you think the key battles and the key areas in the game that we should be looking out for?
Heung-min Son against who would it be? Heung-min Son against Bellerin, won't it be? Yeah. So I mean that one is going to be very key because Heung-min Son, if he gets in behind Bellerin in the first 5 minutes, he's going to terrorize him the whole game. I promise you that. It's going to be interesting to see who we play on the right hand side up against Tierney. But if it's Bale or if it's Bergwijn, it's still going to be a big battle. Big battle. You saw Bale in the Europa League. He started to take on his man finally, beat a few players. I think we might, if we see him, I don't know. I actually believe Bergwijn's going to play because I think we need his intense running from the off and kind of defending from the front. So Bergwijn against Tierney, Son against Bellerin, and I think that Ndombele against Xhaka as well is going to be a big one.
Yeah, look, I know we were talking before this that I actually want them to get at Xhaka nice and early and wind him up because he will bite and he will take a booking and more than likely get sent off because they've no control over there. We know that. They're as angry as their supporters. And as well, I think David Luiz is going to have a nightmare with Harry Kane. He's not going to know whether to drop with him, and if he does, he's going to be exploited in behind. But just looking back on the Chelsea game, I thought Kane maybe dropped a bit too deep in that game. Sometimes we had no outlet in the box.
Yeah.
But look, we all know he loves a goal against Arsenal. He always scores a cracker against them. So, hopefully he can give David Luiz the runaround, and hopefully Luiz still has the spinnies after that challenge with Jimenez.
Yeah, you never know. An early booking for David Luiz or an early booking for Xhaka, and it's all over for them because they'll literally not be able to make another challenge for the whole game. So I'm hoping for an early booking for either Luiz or Xhaka, and that can really even more play into our hands. But look, I think when you look at the two teams this season, it's easy to see who can win. But this is football at the end of the day. It's not always as clear cut as what we see. I know what I've been saying and stuff, but that's what should happen if you look at how the two teams are and what qualities we both bring, the managers we both have. I think Derby's form does go out the window, and Arsenal are going to bring their kind of best performance of the season. The only thing that puts no doubt in my mind that we're going to win is Jose Mourinho won't let this mentality slip. That's the only thing that says to me that we are 100% winning this game.
Yeah, look, this is a game, whether you're having a bad season or you're having a great season, this is the one you don't want to lose. I especially don't want these to turn us over and take us off top, especially these lot. I can't have it, and I honestly don't think Jose is going to allow it. I actually was thinking there last night, I actually hope he plays a few clips from your show, my show, and other people's shows to the players to really show them how much it does mean to us fans, especially not to lose this game. And I just think you're right with the mentality that I just can't see a way of us losing this. I even think going into this game, taking a draw is a bad result. What do you think?
No, 100%. A draw will be I think 1-0 win will be a bad result. I want to smash them. You know what I mean? Like we need to go out there and prove and show them up for exactly what they are. And we need to show exactly what we're about as well. This is the North London derby. It's not just any game against Chelsea or Man City or whatever. You know what I mean? This is the North London derby. This is the big one. And we need to show them who runs North London. We want to show them how to pack their bags and go back to South London. You know what I mean? Pack your bags and fuck off back to Woolwich. That's what it's all about.
Ben, you're getting me excited here, and I'm sure a lot of other people that be watching this is getting excited. So can you, as a fan, as a regular season ticket holder that gets to go to a lot of these games, just for the fans out there that live in other countries, can you explain the build-up to this game and the excitement, the passion, the hatred? Can you just give them a little insight into it?
Oh, it's the best game of the season. It really is, either home or away. When you come to White Hart Lane and Spurs play Arsenal, you can feel the tension in the air from the moment you wake up. Never mind the moment you get to the stadium. The moment you wake up, you got the nerves, and you can feel it's derby day from the second you wake up. You're excited, you're nervous, you want some blood. You know what I mean? You get to the stadium. You just see the buzz around the whole place. You know, you go to the pub, have a few beers, have a few sing-songs, and then you get into the stadium, and it's a cauldron. It's not even a stadium anymore. It's a cauldron of hate, of passion. You know, everything is directed to those red bastards in the corner, and it is just the best. It's the best day supporting Tottenham, either going to the Emirates or having them come here. And when we beat them, it is just something else. And, you know, after the game there, you don't see any Gooner in sight because they run off. Nobody sees them. They just run off into their little corners, hiding in Greg's, hiding wherever they want. But when we go to the Emirates, it's a completely different story because we go there loud and proud. And then after the game, we walk around in colours and nobody can say shit to us because we're Tottenham Hotspur. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look, I've actually had the privilege of actually being able to attend one of them games. It was the one at Wembley where Lloris saved a penalty in the last minute.
Oh,
I'm not letting, since I woke up that morning, there was something that just took over me, and I felt myself with anyone that was mentioning Arsenal. Anytime I seen something red, I just felt rage. Even the travel up to the ground, the excitement, I can't even explain it. Like, I just wanted, to be honest with you, I wanted to lay into some Arsenal supporters. Football's not like that anymore. That's what I felt like doing. And when we got to the ground, just the tension around, like, you know, and the excitement as well. And like you said, we got into a pub. But look, I'm one of these fans. I do the tourist thing. I have the hat, the scarf, the jersey on over the jumper, the whole lot. And I brought a friend with me. He's a massive Spurs fan as well. We grew up together. And we made the mistake of buying the half and half scarves, just like tourists do. And we went into the pub there just beside Wembley. And I was smart enough to hide mine because, look, I know what it's like. But he wasn't. And you want to see the looks we were getting off even our own supporters. And then someone came up and just told him politely, look, take that off you in here. We're not having it. So, look, he took it off us. And then, look, it was a great atmosphere. We were in there. We were sculling the pints at 10 o'clock in the morning. Dancing away, singing away with random strangers. It's an unbelievable feeling. And look, when they missed that penalty, we were right above the Arsenal fans in the stand, and the abuse we were able to give them, I was absolutely loving it. And of course, as usual, you can pick out TY because he's there with the headphones to the socks, walking club shop, that guy. And even after the game, you know, they had terrible trouble getting out of there. There was a bit of scuffling going on. There was a couple of Spurs fans went in the pub just behind Wembley for them, being escorted out. And then even when they were being brought up the main path up towards the arch, there was a couple of us Spurs fans held in by the police, and they just started throwing bottles in at us and everything else. And I've just no respect for them. I absolutely hate them. But anyway, look, there's a bit of an insight for you fans that don't get to go. So thanks very much, Ben, for that. I really do appreciate that. I'm sure the listeners will enjoy this. And get them pumped up to derby.
I mean, hopefully you don't need my voice to get you pumped up. Every Spurs fan should be pumped up for this wherever you are in the world. You know what I mean? It's the North London derby. Get yourselves hyped to it. Let's get 3 points and let's smash them all over North London, and let's get them wishing they never moved to North London.
Oh, get them wishing they never even said our name. I want to absolutely rattle these. I want these rattled because, look, let's face it, AFTV is going to be an absolute joy to watch Sunday night if we do. I'm going to get the missus. I'm going to bring her out, get her a bottle of wine, sit her down, tell her I have a comedy planned out and throw on AFTV. She's going to love it. I suggest you do the same.
I will do the same. Don't you worry about
that. Now, just moving into the predicted lineup, Lloris, I'm going to go with Lloris in goals. He's not going to play the Europa League game tomorrow. So yeah, for me, I'm going with Lloris in goals. It's the obvious choice. He's a keeper that's been on a great form lately. Jose has come in and kind of eliminated his mistakes and kept them focused. And hopefully another clean sheet. He was amazing he was great against Chelsea after being sick. He was a doubt. So look, hopefully he can keep the same form going.
Yeah, what's good about Hugo Lloris at the moment is that he hasn't had that much to do, let's say, in the last 5 games. But when he's called upon, absolutely perfect displays. I mean, I can't fault Hugo at all. Even a few years ago, I mean, a few Spurs fans were thinking maybe it's time to move on from Hugo Lloris. Maybe Gazzaniga should be our number 1 keeper. But how stupid were all those Spurs fans? Yeah. Because this guy is elite. He's an elite goalkeeper. And personally, I think since lockdown, since football came back at the back end of last season after lockdown, I think he's been the best keeper in the Premier League.
Yeah, without doubt. Look, this is a guy that clearly wants to be at Tottenham because when we signed him, he could have went to most clubs around Europe at the time.
Yeah,
he was highly sought after. And look, he's a guy that maybe he got carried away with himself a bit after he won the World Cup, kind of let a few mistakes creep in. But look, he's back. He's back to his best. But one thing I will say is that potentially in the summer, we do maybe need to start looking for his replacement because he is aging, in my opinion. That's just something I'd like to get done, like identify the player early. Do you know what I mean? And monitor him for a year or 2 and then bring him in.
Do you have anyone in your mind? Because I can't even think of someone that can come in and replace Hugo.
No, me, I've no one at the minute. But look, you know the scouts out there, they will find someone. We've a good scouting system. In fairness, I do believe in it. So I do think they will sign someone. But no, I've no one in mind at the minute. Do you?
Not really, but I still think he has at least 2 more years at the top. At least.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree. It's just one that I just want us to get ahead on because me growing up over the years, we've had some very good keepers, but we've also had some very shocking keepers, and it's one that we need to get right, especially being at the top level of the Premier League and European football. Moving into right back, I'm going to go with Aurier. Look, he's a player that I've criticised on your channel, especially an awful lot. But I think the signing of Doherty, whether Doherty's come in and been what we expect him to be or not, it's really made Aurier pick up his game. And I think Ledley King and Jose Mourinho working with him has been a godsend. He's completely eliminated his mistakes, and he's a player that we can now trust. Who would you go with at right back?
Same, Aurier. I think against the big sides this season, against Man United, against your Chelsea's, against he played against Man City as well. Against these teams, he's been absolutely phenomenal. His pure physicality going up and down the pitch, his defensive play seems to have improved a lot. So yeah, I mean, you can't not choose Aurier in this game. I think Doherty will play. Yeah, I mean, Doherty will probably play the next game, but I'd pick Aurier for this game. Doherty, I think he's been good defensively, but he hasn't done enough going forward for me.
Yeah, for me with Doherty, it's just about switching from a back 5 to a back 4. Anyone that plays football knows the tactics are completely different. When you're in a back 5, you don't have to make it back as quick because you do have cover there. And look, even in an Ireland shirt, he's struggling to adapt to a back 4. For me, it's just going to take him a little longer than what we all expected, in all honesty. But he's a player that will get there. And second half of the season, Ben, I want you to put him back in your fantasy team because you will see a lot more of him and you will see the best of him.
No, well, I'll listen to you, David. January he comes back. February he'll come back in.
Yeah, I'd leave it to February. Wait till he gets fully engrossed with the tactics, and we'll see the best of him. Moving into centre back, we're obviously going with Dyer, and for me, Toby Alderweireld has to be back. I think he will play. Look, Sanchez is nowhere near it, getting in for me. He's a player that's let us down time and time again. He switches off. And
would you sell him?
Sorry?
Would you sell him, Sanchez?
Look, Sanchez, I would sell him, Ben. I think if we can offload him with a bit of cash for Skriniar, or offload him with a bit of cash and go and trigger the Upamecano release clause, he's a player I would offload. He's had his chances at Tottenham as far as I'm concerned. He had a good run in the team last year. he just hasn't seized his opportunity. The guy just, for me, he just switches off, and he always tends. I suppose he's unlucky in a way because when he does switch off, it tends to lead to a goal. But yeah, for me, he's a player that I think his time is honestly done at Tottenham, and I don't think Mourinho has too much use for him or even trust him, especially bringing in Rodon. And the fact that Rodon played last week against Chelsea says it all for me. What do you think? Is he a player you get rid of?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you, but I think it's such a shame because the guy has all the tools to be a top centre-back in the Premier League. He's big, he's strong, he's got a good physical presence, he's fast, he can defend, but he's just too clumsy for me. I think he switches off in the smaller games. I think in the bigger games, he's actually all right sometimes, more times than not. But I think in the smaller games, he seems to switch off and make mistakes.
Yeah.
And it just happens time and time again. And for me, for a guy of his kind of build and his physique, he gets muscled off the ball a bit too much. So for me, I think it's time to just cut our losses and bring someone like Skriniar in.
Yeah, 100%. Look, when we signed him, he was the next great hope. We didn't realise that Jose was going to come in, and it was a player, Jose, exploiting in the UEFA Cup final with United that time. So clearly he knows that he's not good enough. And I think he's also been unfortunate with the emergence of Tanganga. He's a very similar player. It's very similar build to Sanchez and has very similar attributes. And the only thing is that Tanganga, when he's played, has took his chances with both hands. So for me, that's the difference. And we've Tanganga Rodon there. I actually seen this morning that we're linked with Ben White off Brighton. Now, he's a player I don't want coming in. I don't want any of these second choices coming in anymore. I want the big boys coming in like Skriniar and Upamecano. So I just say to you fans, don't be getting excited or on the hype train about the Ben White thing, because I honestly don't think it's going to happen. But look, we're going with Toby and Dyer. Look, Dyer has been a player I've heavily criticised. He's completely turned his career around at Tottenham. Fair play to him. He's a guy now that loves playing for the badge. You can see he's committed. And so he deserves to start. And Toby in beside him, they've looked solid. They've kept 4 clean sheets in the last few games as well. So everything's positive there. Moving on to the left back, it has to be the Don Reguilon. This guy, what a signing. For me, he's going to be the best left back in the world over the next year or two. And I can't believe Madrid let this guy go, especially when you look at the problems they're having now at the minute. What a player. What do you make?
I mean, I love the guy. I think he's a star in the making. It just worries me a bit with this buyback clause that we can lose him at kind of any time in the next year or two. I think this guy is an absolute baller. The speed he shows on the football pitch is absolutely insane. I mean, Bellerin's a fast player, but he ain't got nothing on Reguilon, I tell you that. And he is going to be roadrunner past him on the weekend. Him and Bellerin, imagine having Reguilon and Sonny to deal with on that left-hand side. I mean, what are they going to do? Seriously. I almost feel a bit bad for them.
Look, Reguilon is, as we know, he likes to go forward with the ball as well. So, look, whoever's playing their right wing is going to have to do a lot of doubling up. And if they don't, boy, are they in trouble, because this guy, Reguilon and Son, they're going to rip him and Bellerin a new one. He's not the same player, Bellerin, that he was. So for me, look, I'm so excited about this left-hand side of Tottenham. For me, it's one of the best left-hand side, most complete we've seen in years with Reguilon and Son. They're both equally as good as each other.
100%. And it feels like we finally replaced Danny Rose and Kyle Walker. Finally. Yeah. With both, Aurier Doherty and Reguilon there on either flanks. And on their right-hand side, you have to expect it's going to be Bellerin and Willian. They got no chance against Reguilon and Son, surely.
No, look, they definitely don't. Willian, look, for me, Chelsea seem to use Arsenal as their retirement home. You've seen a lot of their aging players go to Arsenal. And you see Arsenal falling for the same trap every time, handing them out big contracts. Willian, for me, look, he's a player, I'm going to be honest, I'm very hesitant to call out, because purely he does turn up against Tottenham. Like, look what he done with Chelsea last year. Scored 2 against us, and he done nothing all season, So, but look.
Did he score in the home and the away leg last season?
Sorry?
Did he score in the home and the away leg last season?
I'm not sure, to be honest. My knowledge wouldn't be that great on that, but I know he did score against us last year. Look, moving into midfield, the one and only Højbjerg, the player we all love. I love this guy. He's such a hard man. He gets stuck in. He's exactly what we needed. For me, his reading of the game is next to nothing. The amount of times he's turned ball over in there and we've gone on and scored from it, he's so crucial to the way we play. And he's a player to me that he just looks like he's going to be fit for every game. He's going to be there out there playing, and he gives it his all for the badge. So he has to play there. The reason why you're not going to see Winks is purely because it's a game where you need steal, you need bottle, and you need players that are going to get stuck in and turn the ball over. And for me, Winks just isn't that midfielder, so that's why Højbjerg will play there.
Yeah, look, we all know Højbjerg will 100% play on the weekend. You need that midfield general for the derby. But what I want to say about Harry Winks is that I wouldn't be too against him starting this game just because he knows exactly what a North London derby is all about. And I don't think his quality is more than good enough to play against Arsenal, let's be honest. If Winks, I'm not going to put Winks in my predicted lineup, but if he was to play, I wouldn't be too upset because I know he knows what it's all about playing in that North London derby.
To be honest with you, look, I agree with a lot of things you and Sim say. I really do, but this is one I have to disagree with you on, I'm afraid. I just don't think Winks is good enough to be at Tottenham anymore unless he reevaluates his game and adds something different. Anytime the guy plays, we just seem to get turned over too easily. You could see it when
against Bulgarian farmers. Apart from against Bulgarian farmers.
Yeah, look, I give it to him. He stepped up last week. Do you know what I mean? I came out and I gave him praise on the fan cam. But look, these players that I do call out, one thing I do want to say is the reason why I call them out is because I want them to prove me wrong. I want to be proven wrong by our players. Like, it's hard to know what Winks, like, he's a player, there is a player in there, but for me, he's too safe. He's too safe on the ball. He needs to start being a bit more dangerous. Like, you've seen it against the Farmers. He went to play forward. He didn't mean it, and he ended up in the net. So hopefully that's a lesson to him. But anyway, back on Højbjerg.
But wait, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong at all, because I'm not Winks' biggest fan at all, by no stretch of the imagination. You know, we speak about Winks week in, week out, and I'm never one to really praise him week in. That's usually my brother. But when I'm talking about Winks, I'm only talking about him playing in this specific game because it's a North London derby, because he's a Tottenham boy, because he knows what it's all about. I'm not saying it because of his quality. I'm saying it because of what's inside him.
Look, I fully agree with you. Like, look, the passion will be there. There's no doubt about that. He'll know what it's all about. But I just think we need the steal in midfield. The midfield battle is where this is going to be won and dominated. So, and for me, Højbjerg's a future captain of Tottenham. So everything about the guy screams future captain. So for me, it has to be him that plays there. And then the two just in front of him, but beside him, I'm going to go with Ndombele and Sissoko. Look, Ndombele is a guy. He's completely turned. Another guy. He's completely turned his career around at Tottenham, and he's a guy for me that Harry Winks probably could be looking at. You know, as an example of what we need in that midfield. Being honest, he's strong. He flies into challenge. He doesn't hesitate. He makes midfielders look stupid week in, week out. He done it against City. He done it against Chelsea. He ripped Kanté apart, one of the best midfielders in the league over the last 2-3 years.
Couldn't get close to him. Just couldn't get close to him.
No, and he's a guy who has a couple of goals in him as well. The only thing with him is he does need to improve his fitness. So for me, I think you're going to see about another 60, 65 minutes out of him. Then moving on to Sissoko. Look, he's a guy I think we do need in there. I think we need his legs. He's industrial. The only thing is, though, if we are looking to dominate the game, especially possession-wise, for me, it would have to be Lo Celso. But I just don't. I think we're going to see Lo Celso in the Europa League game, so I don't think we're going to see him start against Arsenal. What do you make on them two in there, or who would you have in there?
It's a difficult one because I think, like you said, if we're going to go and try dominate possession and really go at them, I think you go for Lo Celso and Ndombele. If we're going to go and bully them, then you go for Sissoko and Ndombele. And personally, I think if you go out there and try and bully them, it's a more of a guaranteed win than if you go out there and try and play your game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you're probably right. It will be Ndombele and Sissoko. But in terms of what it's going to look like on the eye and how we can potentially really go out there and batter them goal after goal after goal, I would love to see Ndombele and Lo Celso. But it probably is a smart move to go Ndombele Sissoko.
Yeah, I just think if he takes us up, well, we might lose that bit of assurance we have defensively, because he does do a lot of work cleaning up,
Yeah.
especially doubling up with Aurier. And then against Chelsea as well, he was crucial for me, because anytime Aurier went forward, you seen him dropping in beside Road and helping him out. Basically just covering for him. So we will lose that if he is taken out of the team. But look, we all know his football ability, as in like being able to pass the ball, control the ball, shoot a ball. It's not there. But it's his work rate, and it's a player that Mourinho, he does love having in there. You've seen him at prime Chelsea. He had McAlady in there doing that role as well. So,
Yeah.
so for me, I honestly think he might start. Now going on to the wings. I'm going to go with Son on the left. That's an obvious choice. Look, the guy's a god. The stuff the quality he brings to Tottenham, as well. Not only is it his footballing ability, but it's the revenue he brings in as well from the Asian market. He's so crucial to Tottenham. And he's a guy that just tends to rip fullbacks apart week in, week out. And he's adding more goals to his games, more assists, and he has a special partnership with Kane up front. And he's going to rip better on a new one. He has to play on the left for me.
100%. Heung-min Son, absolute world star. You can't not play him. You just can't not play him. Him and Harry Kane, you know what I mean? Two absolute worldies of players. They'll give any players nightmares. And when you're talking about Arsenal players, they're going to be having nightmares for years. You never mind just for one night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And moving on to the right side, I've actually a question for you. Do you think Lucas Moura, especially if he scores in the Europa League game, do you think he might be in for a shout against Arsenal? Do you think he deserves to be in, taking it, getting a look in?
For me personally, I still stick with Bergwijn. I think it might be a bit too much to play Thursday and Sunday. Maybe not. I don't know. But, it's away as well. It's away in Austria. So you still got a bit of travelling. You're going to be a bit tired. So for me, you play Lucas Moura Thursday night, and then you play Bergwijn on the Sunday. So Thursday night should be Bale and Lucas on the wings, and then Sunday should be Son and Bergwijn.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I think Thursday night we will see Bale and Lucas. Bergwijn for me is a player. He hasn't hit the ground running this season. I was terribly disappointed again with him against Chelsea. I honestly think that he's the player that Mourinho pinned his hopes on, and maybe nicking us the goal purely because of his pace and being able to exploit him behind the fullback, especially down Ben Chilwell's side, because he likes to bomb forward. And I give him another chance. He does a lot of running. He was great against City. He was used up top a lot of the times by Kane drop deep to get play the fast ball in behind. But he just needs to improve his final ball. But there's no better game to do it than Arsenal.
100%.
I think
100%. Go on.
No, go ahead.
No, I was saying that I don't even think he was that bad against Chelsea, but I think that he tires out of games too quickly. I think it's usually it's a bit similar to Ndombele, but I actually think Bergwijn tires a bit quicker than Ndombele, and I don't really get it. I think Bergwijn in the first half against Chelsea and first half against Man City actually played really well, but second half of both of those games he was anonymous.
Yeah, I think the tiredness comes down to, because I think at PSV he wasn't asked to do a lot of tracking back or a lot of the defensive work and get stuck in. So I still think he's acclimatizing to that and being able to kind of do that, because speaking from experience, when you do play on the wing, it is a very, you have to be very fit to get up and down. You really do. Yeah. It's just, I really do hope he finds his confidence soon, because he's a player we all love, especially his celebration. I'd love to see that against Arsenal. I'd love to see it. But Gareth Bale, I think, is a player that I'd like him to come on around 60, 65 minutes if it's not working out. I think personally we missed the trick against Chelsea doing it, because he was all smiles, he looked ready, and he looked like he wanted the game. So look, hopefully he can do the business tomorrow night, and then he'll be in with a shout on Sunday.
Yeah, we all know Bale loves a goal against the Gooners, don't we? So I think that you're completely right there. Bring Bale on last half an hour, see if he can get a goal or two. I don't care if we're 1-0 down, 5-0 up, drawing. I just want to see Gareth Bale come on against the Arsenal and get a goal or two.
Oh man, it'd be like childhood memories all over again, watching them and they come on and destroy Arsenal and score a goal. It'd be absolutely brilliant. He's a guy for me now at the minute, actually, that he's still building up fitness, but he's a guy I kind of been a bit disappointed with, especially in Europa League games. I've expected more against some of these teams like Ludogorets. Like, they're a nobody. They're like my local Sunday side. Do you know what I mean? And for me, he just hasn't shown enough yet to earn Jose's trust. And I think that's why you didn't see him thrown on against Chelsea.
Yeah. No, I think you're completely right. I do think you see slight adjustments, slight improvements game on game. But for me, I haven't been impressed. But look, it's got to be accepted with the amount of football he's played over the last couple of years, with the way he was treated at Real Madrid, with no preseason behind him, with no games behind him, pretty much for a year and a half. He played a handful of games. So you got to give the guy time. I think second half of the season, you're going to see a much better Gareth Bale. I think literally this first half of the season is being acted as like a bit of a preseason. So I don't want to read into it too much just yet, just because I love the guy so much. If this was someone else, I'd probably be digging into them. But just because it's Gareth Bale, I just want to give him a bit of time to come back to full fitness.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. Look, especially at the elite level, it does take you kind of games and training sessions just to kind of get into the full swing of things, get your confidence going. And he was outcast at Madrid. He, he wasn't training really. He wasn't getting a look in games. So for me, I fully agree with you. This first half of the season, look, you called it when we first signed him. This first half of the season will be just basically getting up to full fitness, getting a touch and a feel for the ball again. And then the second half of the season, this is going to be the guy that's going to drive us forward. Moving up top, it's the one and only Harry Kane, our number 10. He's one of our own. This guy, what can I say? I've loved watching his rise over the years, from his first goal against Shamrock Rovers right to now, up till now. He's a guy that's come on leaps and bounds. We've all watched him improve, and he has a place in our heart. And we all know he loves a goal against Arsenal. He loves these games, and I firmly believe he's gonna bag a goal or two in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely getting a penalty, that's for sure. We all know Harry Kane always seems to get a penalty against the scum. But look, everyone knows about Harry Kane. The best version of Harry Kane I've personally seen, I think, anyway. The guy is just a monster. He can drop back. If he doesn't drop back, he'll beat you in behind. If he doesn't beat you in behind, he'll play some worldy assist out wide, out left. Like, the guy, it doesn't matter what you do to him, because he can find answers to whatever you do to him. The guy is absolutely elite, just like Heung-min Son. And Arsenal are going to be having nightmares, or they've probably been having nightmares for the last 2 weeks about him, saying, "Oh no, I can't believe we're coming up against Harry Kane. What are we going to do?" They're probably shitting themselves.
I can't see him. I can't wait to see him up against David Luiz. He's going to turn David Luiz back into Bobo the Clown. I can't wait. He's going to destroy him. Yeah, he's going to rip him a new one. Look, David Luiz he tends to lose his head. So if we do win a penalty, I definitely think it'll be from him. And obviously, Harry Kane will dispatch it. Now, moving on, we'll get into the score prediction. I'm going to go with 3-1. Just personally, because Aubameyang hasn't been on form, but he loves a goal against Tottenham. So I'm going to go with him to maybe nick one for them. But for us, I'm going to go, and this is a surprise, but I'm going to go with Harry Kane for 2, and I'm going to go with Eric Dyer from a header.
Eric Dyer scored a
goal against Arsenal.
Yeah, I think he scored at the Emirates last year. I think Eric Dyer, was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember.
No, I think it was last year. Yeah, an absolute a great header. It was his determination to get there. It's that extra bit of motivation you need to win these balls in a derby game. It's perfect. And look, he always turns up against these big teams when he is given his chance. So I just think you might see one from a set piece, from a corner kick, and Eric Dyer coming up with his big head and absolutely smashing one into the net. What's your score prediction?
I'm going to go 3-0. These lot are not scoring against us. I mean, they haven't scored a goal from open place for 2 international breaks now. Do me a favour. You really think they're going to score a goal against a team who kept clean sheets against Chelsea and Man City? These lot are not scoring against us. We're going to batter them 3-0. And actually, I think it's time for Harry Kane to get a hat-trick against the scum as well.
Oh, I'd love to see that. The absolute scenes, especially the scenes that'll be on your show after. Yeah, your fan show is one I'm really looking forward to after this game, especially if we smash them. I have a few nice things lined up for it. I have a nice chant lined up for it as well. But I'm not unleashing it. I'm not unleashing it until we beat them, because it's one that it'll be clipped and it'll go viral against me if we do end up losing. So it's one I'm going to save, and I want you to you will enjoy it. Trust me.
I'm
But
looking
look,
forward to it, mate. I'm looking forward to it.
look, we've probably gone over more time than what we expected, and I want to say thanks very much for your time. It's
No
been an
problem.
absolute pleasure. It's great to have you on. I love speaking to you and your brother. And just on a side note, when I do get over to the next game, hopefully I can meet up with you and have a few pints and
100%.
have a good experience, and maybe a couple of the other lads from our Tottenham TV as well. I firmly believe we'd have a good day and we'd enjoy it. So I look forward to it.
Yeah, just let me know when you're coming down. We'll arrange something for sure. 100%.
I will do. That's perfect. And again, thank you very much. Just on a side note, Sim was very busy today. He really tried his hardest to be here. He did say he was going to try and pop on. He couldn't make it. Well, fair play to him for trying to be dedicated. I know he's very busy. So just to the fans out there, why Sim wasn't here. But big up, Ben. Thanks very much for coming on and being great with your time. I really do appreciate it. I know you're busy. But there we have it. There's your preview to the Tottenham v Arsenal again, the North London derby, first v 14th. The team, Arsenal, the team everyone loves to laugh at. Banter FC, Woolwich FC, Chelsea's retirement home. And come on, you Spurs, in Jose we trust. Let's kick the shit out of these. Come on.
Exactly. Let's kick the scum back to Woolwich. Let's do it.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.